it was really interesting knowing REVS at that time, because REVS had roller tags, but REVS also had this like really sick Brooklyn hand style, very intricate, very interesting hand style that people didn't connect the two things. They didn't connect the Revlon that painted whole cars with the REVS that's painting these sloppy paint tags, you know? They didn't connect any of those dots. Like, he was like, I could see he was doing work in two different divisions, maybe two different, grappling. He was jiu-jitsu over here and Muay Thai over here, but people didn't understand, like, he was doing these two different things. And the thing that was visible was the sloppy roller tags. And I loved them. Like, they were in charge. They were doing it. And it was really fun hanging out with him and knowing, you're hanging out with somebody who's like, he's like a real blues musician or something, and people just don't get what he's doing, and you understand, I understood that I was in the presence of like somebody that was like changing the entire game from like top to bottom. And he was doing it with like two pieces of steel. And it was like amazing. And it was but he was also like, he was a gossipy, like Brooklyn, like graffiti writer. He loved hearing the gossip. If he wasn't really ambivalent about computers, he would have been in the chat rooms, like, but thankfully he he stayed on his own path. And I really enjoyed what I did. Was I didn't mind meeting people. I didn't mind talking to people. I liked chatting in the chat rooms and, kind of nerding out on the possibilities that the world offered. He didn't want none of it. Like, he didn't want to know about, I wanted to tell him about, he was like, I don't want to know about, like, it's none of my business. I want to know about me. And I admire that too. Like, I admire, like, okay, he knows who he is. He's staying on his own path. He's digging straight through the center of the earth to get to the other side, and he's going to get there. Me, I'll circle the universe, and I'll take the heights. He'll take the depths, and we'll compare notes. Like, I figured I would go out, meet people, make compromises, do a yin and yang of like taking possibilities, taking chances, failing. And I would report back to him. Like, it felt great knowing that there was a guy that was so dedicated and so on his own track that he didn't need to make any of his negotiations with the outside world. I thought I could make the negotiations with the outside world. I'll be the person to navigate the higher reaches of the art world, and I'll do gallery shows, and I'll do commercial opportunities when they present themselves, and I'll do, I'll say yes to things that he would say no to. People would ask me all the time, like, will REVS do X, Y, Z? And I would go and ask, like, do you want to do X, Y, Z? No. Okay. But I asked. It's a good opportunity, and I understand. And that, it wasn't like I took any opportunities that were presented. People didn't want me instead of him. They wanted him, But it was like fascinating to like, there was like one insane incident. I published a book in 1999 called The Art of Getting Over. Shout out to Dana Albarella, St. Martin's Press. A prominent clothing company used their artwork from the book on T-shirts. And when I saw the T-shirts, they were $100 each. I had to buy all 4 of them. I spent like the last $400 I had. I think I missed rent that month. And I bought these T-shirts, and it took a year and a half, but we got a major, like, 6-figure settlement that I was able to split with all the parties. And my friend Phil Schock that made it happen. And REVS got a chunk of cash that it was like blood money to him. he felt like this is like this crazy blood money that is tainted because it's been touched by corporate interests somehow. And I forget what he ended up doing with it, but he did something like completely altruistic with it. Very like, he went and donated it to an animal shelter or something, but it was like, that was like his mind state, and it's still his mind state. Like he's like, he's always going to be that guy, and we're super proud of him. I mean, what's kind of amazing is like, I've lived long enough to see like the world catch up to what he's talking about, and it's but they haven't caught him yet. Like even now, like REVS is deeper into the ground than he's ever been. Like he's closer to the core of this planet than anybody can really realize. So I won't spoil the surprise, but he's got a lot more gas in the tank. I came and I'm speaking from like vague impressions. I don't have any specific evidence of this, but I know. It's funny because I'm at a point in my relationship with him where it's like I'm talking to intermediaries sometimes, and just I'm seeing their reactions to what he's working on, and I know what that is. Wow.